Hello, folks, and Kopla. Welcome to another episode of Captain's Academy. Today we're going to be taking a look at the J4 Condor. The J4 Condor is a Klingon early start shuttle, which can upgrade to a light attack craft. While not a dedicated fighter, it will still provide some function before ultimately moving on to heavier attack craft. It does feature a number of upgrade options, including placement for up to 6 weapons, additional thrusters. It has compartments for the placement of a shield generator, as well as shield extenders, and a number of other options. So let's get started and take a look at these upgrade features. So looking at the ship to start, what we have to work with are 2 compartments here. You should take note that there is an option to upgrade the cargo. So we have a variety of extensions here. We have the ammo on one side and harvest on the other side. So if you want to expand that, feel free to fill up the compartment. So first thing is, let's go ahead and take a look at the thrusters. So once fully upgraded, pilots will find that the vehicle operates sluggish. So if at all possible, you want to keep it light and not overload it with some heavy weaponry or too many shields. Else you will find that in certain situations, and especially high G planets, you're going to run into issues with lift. But let's see what we can do to counter that. So first off, what we want to do is we can upgrade these medium thrusters to either medium advanced or advanced large for Reforged Eden players. That would take care of our lift right there. Now, okay, so looking at strafe, we have several options here. So we have our medium thrust, and we'd want to go ahead and upgrade that to advanced. Keeping in mind you don't want to push in any further than that. You're going to start hitting into some armor, and we want to keep that preserved so we don't cut into... Oh, see, just like that. We don't want to go too far, else we're going to start bleeding into our compartments, and we need that for chain reaction mitigation, so not going to worry about that. So that's going to be that upgrade. Now, this is a small thruster. There's no option to upgrade that, so we're going to have to leave that as. Now, let's look for the blocks with the white dots here. And there we're going to push back, so that'll give us a large advanced thruster placement. And here we have option for... Oops. A little busy right there, so here we go. Medium. So unfortunately, that would be it for strafe. It's kind of lackluster. Keep that in mind. Intended just as an early start shuttle with some options to attack POIs, maybe assist other players or CVs with attacking OPVs. But as far as like dedicated, it's possible as a dedicated attack craft. You certainly have to be skilled and be able to handle some of the shortcomings with the thrust. Now, so that's strafe, so let's go ahead and look at our reverse now. So we have a couple options. Keep in mind here, we got a sneaky little compartment on the bottom. So just look for that little light texture there. That's one. And then here, we want to get rid of, obviously, the thruster, and then this little block right here, that's got to go. And now we can place an additional large advanced. Okay, so now we want to look at our dorsal thrust. Kind of lethargic here with that, but still a few upgrades. So if you're fine with this sticking out, you could settle on that. But if you're more concerned about the form, then you would just go for medium advanced. here, this is a placement for a large advance. So you will get a little bit down thrust. Alright, so that should be it for dorsal. All other areas. Now we're going to be looking at our forward thrust, and so we do have placement for a number of additional large, advanced, and also medium jet boosters. So let's go ahead and take a look. So we want to get this enclosed medium thruster, and we're going to take one more block past that, and once you get to the X, that's where you stop. Then the slope medium can come out. And then we have that placement. So here we have a couple options. If we don't want to do the jet boosters, which I would highly recommend that you do because you're going to be sluggish once you're fully upgraded, you can go with the largest there like that. Maybe you want to preserve this look right here, that kind of impulse looking drive. And maybe you're not playing weights and volumes, so you wouldn't need to upgrade to jet, but in the event that you do, if you are playing weights and volumes, we do have an option to upgrade to that. So we want to clear out all that clutter there, and then we want to start pushing on this block. So once you get to the fuel tank there, that's where you're going to stop, and also these X's here, that'll denote your stopping point. And there we go. So now all of our thrust is fully upgraded. Alright, moving on to weaponry, we have a couple options here. So we do have placement for 4 to 6. The optional 6, that would be, I guess you could choose between, maybe instead of an additional weapon or additional 2 weapon mounts, you want to go for some additional thrust. Before we get started looking at that, so for this forward weapon mount, you're going to be looking for that white dash right there. So you would remove till you get to the X. You want to take that one. Okay, so that's your forward mount. And obviously you come stock with a couple here, so you would just, if you want to upgun it, there you go. Alright, so now for the optional thruster / weapon mount, what we're going to be looking for is this little line right here. So these double fins, that's going to be where you start removing. And you keep pushing back till you get to that line. And then you want to remove the blocks forward of that. So now what you could do, now here's your option. You could go for this thruster, or if you're fine with the performance of it, then you're just going to take that out and slot in your extra weapons. So there it is. It's light, but it's an early start. It's not too bad. You can get some performance out of it. Alright, so that concludes the exterior. Now let's go ahead and look at what our compartments offer. So first thing is, let's take a look at the immediate area around the cockpit. Now we do have these small generators have the capacity to upgrade to advanced for Reforged Eden players. And that's that upgrade. You have one on either side, so keep that in mind. Now this little section here, this could be, you could go trauma station, or maybe you want to go food processor, something to that effect. That would be your placement there. So now moving to the compartments, what we're looking at here is we can go. So this is going to be, first off, let me get this cleared up. Might be kind of hard to see beyond this little nook right here. So what you can do in order to access the compartment is you could just use a drone. It'll be easier to get in. And Because if you, perhaps if you walk in and crouch, you're going to be in a situation where you might get stuck, so you might have to end up removing some blocks. So just to head that off, just go ahead and place your devices with the drone. That'll be easiest. So, alright, so first of all, we do have our shield and pentaxid tank placement. Oops. Well, I guess that's not quite covering the PEM. Alright, so that takes care of that. Now the rest of this you could fill up with any combination of, I don't know, let's say shield extenders. You'll if you do that, you'll probably need to beef up some additional generators, which you could place down here. You know, you could go like that. You know, just whatever combination works for you here. So not the most efficient. There's a couple blocks that I missed, so y'all can work that out. Okay, so you do have the option to remove these if you want to open up a little bit more space. I like to keep that there because that's providing another wall. I like to put CPU here. So this would be a good spot for to improves if you want to do that. So it's up to you. If you want to utilize this space here, you're confident in your piloting skills, you're not worried about this compartment getting blown up, then by all means. Now, you can utilize that as well on one of the sides. So let's say you've got your shields and stuff all dedicated over there. So what we can do is we're going to go ahead and remove these 3 blocks. And what that will do for us is that's going to open up placement for our radar if you want to do an internal placement. Because maybe you're concerned about the aesthetic of the build, and putting the radar somewhere outside just really isn't a thing. So that would be that. You're still going to have some space after that. Okay, so maybe you want some more generators or shield extenders, or maybe you're not worried about the radar. Now there is a, if you want to do an external placement, you could, I don't know, maybe do this. This could be a thing. You know, maybe you want to develop some of the block work here to kind of justify its placement. Maybe you want to get rid of that and turn it into, let's say, maybe like a 45-degree block or something like that. So it just looks like it somewhat makes sense. So you could do something to that effect. So if you do that, that's going to open up your compartment placement. But if you're not worried about that, then there it is. Okay, so let's see here. So that's all of our devices. Yeah, just keep in mind, again, it's doesn't really start with the most spectacular cargo. With the ammo and harvest at 2.7, 2.8K. Again, you can expand that. So if there's one that you want to dedicate to, let's say maybe you want to go harvest, then you know you could just fill up this whole compartment and shift all of the devices over here or something. So turrets, we do have placement for 2 turrets. Okay, so now this one right here, this is going to be obstructed somewhat by the ramp. So keep that in mind. You might not get the best coverage on that backside. And if you want to, for whatever reason, maybe you want an additional turret placement, there is this. It's kind of suspect as far as how it affects the profile, but it's there. So this would be what I would call overloading. The performance is definitely going to suffer on under weights and volumes. Now you will have maximum forward speed with the jet boosters and stuff and full weight. So, but the other statistics are really going to be sluggish. So just keep that in mind if you overload with heavy weapons, all the heavy devices, then you're really going to start to feel it. So, I mean, that's going to be up to you how you want to customize it. Maybe you just want to keep it light. Perhaps you just want 4 weapons, and maybe you want shields on one side, and just the rest you utilize as compartments, and that's good for you, and so your agility won't suffer as much. But yeah, so entirely up to you how you want to customize it. So okay, so now let's take a look at how we're going to change the color of the build. We do have a couple of options. So we spawn in with our default Klingon green. Keep in mind with these color options, I will have those posted on the workshop page. So our option here for our second coloration is going to be what we call honor gray. So we just highlight the numerical value when we're going to press Control-C. And then we're going to go to our paint gun options, so hit configure. At the top left, you're going to left click, and while holding shift, left click down on the bottom right square. You're going to hit paste, and then to confirm the color, you're going to hit OK. And there we go. So now we've modded our color. So same thing if you want to revert it. Again, the color is going to be posted on a workshop, so you'll lose your color, or if you want to clear up this area for placement of CPU or some other device, then you can go ahead and stop by the workshop page and pick up the color. Alright, that's it. Moving on. Alright, that's it, folks. Taking a look at the J4 Condor and your upgrade options. Enjoy it. Let me know how it goes. Give me some feedback. If you have any suggestions, feel free to post them in the comments, whether here or on the workshop. And if you like the build, please make sure and thumbs up the build on the workshop page. It goes a long way. Thank y'all. I'll catch y'all next time. LyfeForce L. Hello, folks. If you enjoy my content, if you enjoy my builds, please consider becoming a patron today. As a patron, you get access to custom builds of release works, early access to some builds before they hit the workshop, exclusive builds. You also gain access to direct feedback and engagement through polls, idea suggestions regarding builds before and after workshop release. If this interests you, please check out the pinned comment below. Thank you.